Hey everybody, we're back for episode 12.
What's up?
Ooh, ooh.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that was so weird. Whoop, whoop. What the hell? Anyway, we're back. Episode 12. And we're so excited to be back because we have a really good topic today sent in by several of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at an event last night, and when we were strategizing, we were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a perfect topic for us to talk about today.
So let's cover the event first.
Okay, but before we do that,
topic.
okay, cool. So first let me caveat by saying, or sidebar by saying, we had to strategize, and every episode, we have to come in the studio, and it takes us about an hour and a half, which most people probably don't have to do that. They just go, like Jason and Drew, they go, hey, let's talk about this today. And they go, okay. And then they go in the studio and then they film. Right?
Right.
Why are you laughing?
I wish it was that easy.
No kidding. But we don't, because Mr. Tait here needs some extra homework and some extra time to kind of get all the jitters out. And that's basically what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
So it was perfect for us to bring that up today. Because of what we're going to talk about. What are we going to talk about today?
Being an introvert versus being an extrovert.
Oh, it's going to be fun. And here's why. Because several of you, it was never, hey, I'm an extrovert. Teach me how to be an introvert. It was every single one of you that DM'd, messaged, whatever. You guys were all introverts. And we love our introverts. We love them. I love this one. So... and your guys' whole kind of spiel was, please teach us how to not be an introvert or how I can help start to become an extrovert.
Yes,
Yeah.
or better.
Or better at not being an introvert, right? So let's get into last night. So last night, we got invited by two hot takes. Miss Morgan and Mr. Justin invited our whole family, all six of us, to go to an event last night. And Jason said, hey, they also want me to go on stage for one of the segments. Will you come? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. An hour before we're supposed to go, Tate goes, I wish I was going. What? I was like, what the heck? He never says that. So I called Jason, or actually I texted her. I go, not your dad trying to like hitch a ride on our event tonight. And she goes, what? So she called me and she goes, is he serious? Does he really want to go? So it's not like we didn't want him to go.
Sure.
We were just shocked that you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Because you never want to go. You guys ever have those friends who say, hey, I want to go. And then you go, okay. And then, hey, it's time to go. Are we still on for time? Oh, well, and they have an excuse. And you invite them every time.
Yes.
And they always have an excuse why they're not going to go.
Yes.
Then you stop inviting them. And then they get all bitter and go, how come you didn't invite me? And it's because you always say no. So to all of you guys who are out there that do that, your friends are going to stop inviting you and you cannot be mad. That's not a thing.
True.
You can't be mad.
True.
So we were kind of shocked that you wanted to go last night.
I know. And the reason why I wanted to go is because I wanted to push myself.
Okay, so we thought that this would be a great way to kind of segue into what we're talking about, introvert versus extrovert. And about, because we got invited to this event. So let me just back up here. So like an hour before we're going to this event, you decide to say, I wish I was going. What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
He never wants to go. And here's another fun fact. He never wants to go. We go to a lot of events, a lot of show tapings for Jason and Drew, like a whole bunch of stuff, right? You never want to go. And then when he does want to go, one, it's out of the blue.
Yeah.
Two, it's very last minute.
Yeah.
So then we got to scramble to make sure he has a place to sit.
Yeah.
And can still even go because we already RSVP'd.
Sure.
And three, we get there and he stands in the back. And then, or he'll ask, is it time to go yet? Can we leave early? Hey, I have an idea. He just did this the other day. Hey, I have an idea. And we should just beat the crowds, and leave early. This ain't no damn concert. We're not leaving Beyonce so we can get to the car. What are you talking about? We have a driver. He's waiting for us outside. Nice try, Slick. No, we're not leaving early. You want to come to these things, you're going to do what we're all doing. Right?
Right.
Okay. So.
Well, I'm just trying to get out of it. You know what I mean? That's all.
Then don't come.
The idea to go is to push myself.
Okay.
You know.
Well, listen. You can use our events. You can use our events to push yourself and do your self therapy, but you have to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. You cannot change the rules, and you can't make everyone else feel bad because you're feeling anxious. If you're going, you better suck it up. Okay, so then we go to this event last night.
Yes.
And we don't have a driver.
No.
Tate's the driver.
I'm the driver.
So then I'm thinking in my head, I'm calculating, he better not ask to leave early because we're not doing it. Right? So when we don't have a driver, then we wait till everyone leaves and then we leave. But if we have a driver, we leave right on time because it's fine. And so we go to this thing. Dason and I, all of us, we got flowers and we got champagne to like congratulate Morgan and the team. And then we get there and I go, and Dason's like, well, how do we get the champagne in? Like, how do we walk in with booze? And I said, oh, call Carrie. So,
sure.
So Carrie comes to the door. We all go in. First of all, you get carded if you want to drink. The guy's like, do you want to drink? I'm all, does the Pope wear a funny hat? Of course I want to drink. So he gives us all the wristbands. He asks him for his ID, and he's like,
what?
Because he has a crossbody Prada bag on, right? And I'm like, what is the problem here? He's looking for his ID. So he's nervous, looking for ID. Then we go in. I turn around because I'm videotaping everything because I want to vlog about it. And I turn around and he's just like walking in. I was like, oh no, the anxiety's kicking in, right? So then we walk through. We have to walk through the whole crowd. We walk through the lobby. No one's in the lobby. We walk through the crowd. It's literally standing room only. People are shoulder to shoulder. And Carrie's making our way back to help us get back there. We get to the door because we're going to the green room, right? We're going backstage. And we get to the door. Everybody walks in. I'm videotaping this. And then we all walk in. And then all of a sudden, I hear the security guy go, hey, do you know this guy? And I turn around, and he's just like this at the door with his crossbody. And I go, oh, yeah, he's with us. And he goes, oh, well, he needs a sticker. He didn't pull the stickers out. And I go, hey, why didn't you pull the stickers out? What'd you say?
I couldn't find him.
No, he goes, it was too dark in there. I couldn't. It was dark in there.
Yeah.
But I had my flash on. Anyway, he was just nervous. He was nervous. And he was like, again, he's like this. Trying to get in his crossbody to get the stickers out.
And they were in the pocket of my sweater.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then you find him, and then he goes, oh, okay, go ahead. I think the guy felt bad for him because he was doing all this, trying to get into his crossbody. And I go, he's with us, and he goes, okay, just go.
You know what's so funny is that shit never happens.
I know. No one ever cards him. No one ever stops him because he's like a giant human being. And that was the first time. And I have it on video.
Yeah, it was the first time.
You just hear, because I'm videotaping too. And I'm like, you say, hey, do you know this guy? Is he with you? And I go, huh? And I turn around and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm sure the anxiety was on level 10, right?
Oh, big time.
So then we go back and we go to the green room and there's a bunch of people back there.
I know.
And I just make a beeline. I just go right in. I'm like, hey, everybody. I only know like 3 people in there. And there's probably like 20 people in there.
Yeah.
And I was walking around shaking hands, hugging babies and like whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, hey, my name's Noelle. And everybody's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and I see you standing at the door like this. with your crossbody. Yeah. And it's funny because I used to take him to events all the time with me.
Yeah.
And you do the same thing. But I haven't seen you like that in a long time.
I know. Because it's been a while. That's why I said it. I had to go. I had to go to this one.
It's time to clock in.
Yeah, it's time to clock in.
Yeah.
I'm losing it.
Dude.
You know what I mean? The courage.
So funny.
So let's like that whole thing,
yeah.
right? Anxiety up the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, from getting carded at the very front to getting that green thing to making our way through the shoulder to shoulder, which shoulder to shoulder to me is like there's like everyone's in the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have to like touch people and I'm just like, what the?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I gotta go through that, and then that guy stops me. The door almost closed. Did you see that? The guy said, "Hey," and it was just a finger open. Hey, is this guy with you? And because I could see just your eye when you turned around. It's just your eye before that fucking door. You know what I'm saying?
What if I said, I don't know him. He's not with me.
I think I would have fell out, man. I think I would have fell. You're like, no.
I turn around and go, who?
I think I would have fell out. Like seriously.
Like, what do you mean fall out? Like faint?
No, crack up. Like, because that was perfect.
Yeah. I should have said, damn.
It would have been perfect.
Missed opportunity, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love a good bit.
I know.
Oh, okay. I
would have fell
You know
out.
what? I'm gonna keep that up here because if that ever happens again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna so deny that I know you.
Yeah. I think all the anxiety would have went away. I would just laugh my ass off.
I just go, who? No. Oh, him? No, I don't know him. That would have been. You know, I never thought to do that to you only because I'm so afraid you're gonna have a panic attack or something.
My face looks like it. No.
I know. I don't want. Like you're too fragile in like public spaces. That's why. Listen, if you know anything about me, know this. I love a good joke. I love a good bit. I love scaring people, especially my kids or him.
Yeah. You've done it to me in public too. So.
I love doing a good bit. Yeah. But when we're in public like that, and I know his anxiety is like on level 10, like DEFCON 5 kind of thing.
That wouldn't have held you back. That wouldn't have held you back. Come on, bud. Come on, bud.
That's not true.
That wouldn't have held you back.
No,
Come on.
No.
Come on.
That's not true. I'm so afraid.
I gave you the bit earlier, just a second ago. I said it.
You said what? Like I was gonna fall out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Hey, you guys, you guys heard this. He said he gave me permission to like, you better not have a panic attack.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't. That's because that shit's funny.
That would have been so funny.
That shit's funny.
If I said, no.
That shit's funny.
No.
That's just. I actually thought about it for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I watched that fucking door.
So we go in.
My eye caught you around like this. Please.
You're like, ooh. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So we go in, and I like it doesn't even faze me. Like I don't even think about like being like not knowing people. That's never been a hindrance for me.
This is the extrovert, by the way.
No, I know. Well, that I'm getting to my point.
Sure.
Is I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinated by introverts.
Yeah.
Because number one, I know you guys are smart as all get out. You guys are like literal geniuses. I know that. It's always the quiet ones that they're like, they're the shadiest and they're also the smartest. I'm like, right? Well, you're not shady, but like some people we know, they're shady, but they're super quiet, but they're shady. What else? And you know what? That's the wrong word. It's not shady.
No.
You guys are calculated.
Yeah.
Because you guys listen.
I was going to say.
You guys listen.
Calculated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we go in there and I just work the room. I take a lap around the little tiny room.
Yeah.
I talk to people.
Non-stop.
Yeah. And like people wanted to give hugs and I'm like, oh, okay. Like I never give hugs. I'm a hugger, but I never give hugs because COVID and like people like, no.
Sure.
But I was surprised. There was a lot of people that want to give hugs last night. So I turn back. I'm giving hugs, kissing babies. I turn around and I look at him and he's like this. Just standing there, like right by the door.
Yeah.
And I was dying because I was like, man, I haven't seen you like that in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we're walking down the hall after that.
Oh yeah. So then we have to go down another hall. Like it's like we literally got there 2 minutes before the show was going to start.
Yeah.
And so
we were kind of rushed back a little bit.
Yeah. And then so we go down another hall because Carrie's going to take us upstairs to the VIP balcony.
Yeah.
And were you anxious doing that too?
No, it wasn't that bad. And then until we went out into the crowd.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we walked through the backstage.
Yeah.
And went out a different door.
Right.
Back into the crowd. The other side of the venue, by the way. So we were on the left side and then we kind of made a circle and came out the other side.
Exactly. Yeah. And then having to deal with the crowd again, same thing, shoulder to shoulder.
What are you thinking when you're walking through this crowd and the anxiety is like out of control? Like, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, does the anxiety kick in because you think people are looking at you, because you have to like shimmy past people because you're like super tall and like you're going to have to touch shoulders with someone? Like, what the hell is running through your mind that your anxiety just like starts to tick off?
All that, all
Like,
that
all
and
of it?
more.
Like,
All that and more. I don't want to step on anybody.
yeah.
I don't want to touch anybody. Everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
Everyone's facing this way and we're going that way. So everyone's looking at me.
That is true. That is true.
You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
not faced the same way.
Yeah.
So everyone's looking at me. I'm trying not to make eye contact.
So you don't make eye contact with anyone?
No, I just look at the ground and look at the feet in front of me and just focus on that, and then just try to navigate through people so I don't touch anyone.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and I'm just like looking at the end.
Are we there
Almost
yet?
there, almost there.
You're like this.
Yeah. Right when we came out, I look like that.
Yeah.
And like I have the advantage because I'm tall and I could see.
Yeah.
So that helps me
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I can see your head. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I just look at the floor. And then, okay. That's it, man. That's it.
You know why that's fascinating to me?
Yeah.
Because one, I don't care who's looking at me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And two, I make eye contact with everyone.
No way, man.
I walk through that, and because I'm only 5'3", so I have to look at people.
Yeah.
So I'm either looking at people's, their hoo-has, because I'm like super short. And so, and then when people look at me like, who's coming through, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, ooh, don't mind us. Cool kids walking through. Like, it's hilarious to me.
I don't know how you do that.
I love it.
That's unbelievable.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like a rush for me.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
And I'm like, and I have to stay in that good mood. Like, hey, what's up? Cool kids coming through. Woo. I have to be like kind of obnoxious like that.
Yeah.
Because people are rude.
Yeah.
So if people go, what? I'm not moving. Then I'll be like, oh, come on. Or I'll shimmy around them. Because if not, like, I'll go from 0 to 60 in like -2 seconds. Yeah. So I have to keep my spirits I have to keep in high spirits. Otherwise, I'll get angry. And you don't want to see me angry. Step Brothers, I'm at a level here, and you don't want to see me at a level 10. Or whatever he says, right? That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I dig going out in crowds and just that's so funny. Okay, so then we go upstairs.
Yeah.
And you're acting a little nutty.
Yeah.
Meaning he's just like,
yeah.
And it's so dark up there and there's no one up there. We were the first ones up there. Actually, there was a couple of people of Morgan's friends in front of us, like 2 or 3 people.
And they had already grabbed that one side.
Yeah, so we just went to the other side, which is fine. I wanted to sit with them. I'm like, make new friends.
Yeah.
But I just saw this guy I'm like, yay. And I turn around and I go like, oh my God, he's already walking to the other side of the VIP box.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, guess we're sitting over there.
Yeah.
So we go over there.
Yeah.
And then you're fine, right?
For the moment.
For the moment.
Because I made it.
Yeah.
So I can take a couple deep breaths. I can relax a little bit. And then what's next?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is this how you guys introverts are? You're like always thinking.
What's next?
That's like me. I'm like eating breakfast and I'm wondering what I'm going to eat for lunch. Is it like that? No? It's just my appetite. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
Well, what? Okay, I have so many questions.
Sure.
Okay, never mind. So that's the event. So we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? A bunch of people asked about being an introvert.
Exactly.
Talking about last night's event. Let's marry the two and bring it to the people.
Yes.
Right?
So, which brings us to our topic of being an introvert versus being an extrovert.
So let's talk about what it's like to be an introvert.
Yes.
Like, what do you, well, we kind of already saw your point of view from being in public spaces.
Sure.
But like in general, like rap to me about like what an introvert goes through.
Sure. I think when hearing you ask that question, the first thing that comes to mind, and I'm sure there's a bunch of people would agree, is anxious energy rises automatically. Anytime there's a situation like that where I feel anxious, right? Or like any situation, the energy just like.
Just like, yeah.
So, and it could be looked at, like we discussed this earlier, right? It could be looked at two different ways, negative or positive, or I don't know. I mean, but I've seen it both.
Yeah.
To me,
okay.
You know?
Meaning people think you're a jerk because you don't talk.
Yes, exactly.
And you won't introduce yourself.
Exactly.
I can see that.
Yeah.
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 So those of you out there who are looking at people and think, man, look at that resting bitch face. Maybe they're introverts. Maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe, you know, like, ugh, I don't like her. Why? I don't know. I just don't like her. She never says hi.
Yeah.
She never says anything. And then that makes sense. Maybe they're an introvert. Or maybe they are an asshole. I don't know. But maybe not. That's okay. So you have anxious energy.
Anxious energy, right? And because what? I don't like to talk. I don't like to talk to strangers. I don't like to talk. I'm not a people person. If that makes sense.
Well,
I don't want to say that.
Yeah,
That's
you're a people
too
person.
harsh.
But it takes you a minute to kind of get warmed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like, and that's the thing too. That's so like I always meet new people. It takes a while to meet them. Once I meet them, a lot of times they'll say, "Hey, man, I always thought you were this, that." You know what I mean? And I was, and now I got to know you, man. No way, you're so cool. Blah 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 blah. Right?
Yeah.
And then I would explain to them, I'm super introverted. It's hard for me. Blah blah blah. And they understood. You know what I mean?
You understand something funny?
Yeah.
People tell me that, but the opposite. They're like, man, I thought she was such a bitch. She's so loud and she like talks to everybody. And then they talk to me and they find out I'm kind, I'm thoughtful. I can be quiet when I want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for me, but opposite.
Opposite, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So they think you're a dick.
Yeah.
They think I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
Then they get to know us and they're like, oh.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I hate dealing with crowds.
Yeah.
Like I
As
don't.
we
just about the event. And there was not even that. I mean, it was pretty packed.
Dude, there was like a lot. It was standing room only,
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder, and people were lined up along the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of people in there. There's about at least 500 people in there.
Yeah, I think I was trying to make it seem like it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal.
Oh, you were telling yourself that.
Yeah, I was telling myself that, but it was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, for me.
Well, don't sugarcoat it here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because we want the introverts that are watching and listening right now.
I wanted to be honest.
Yeah.
It was those are just things I tell myself.
Okay.
Right, as I'm trying to work my way through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is another topic we'll cover later.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm a big creature of habit. Right. I don't like to try new things.
Yeah.
You know, even though I know new things are good for you, they help you grow. They're still really, really hard for me. I've developed habits, which I'll cover later on in this podcast of what I do to get through those things. And it's manageable more now than it was when I was younger.
Yes. Okay.
One of the physical things I know is my palms get super sweaty, and my feet get sweaty, and then when I have to actually talk and I'm in that state, I start to spit. So it's almost like it's so embarrassing. You know what I mean?
I just got a visual. You know that little kid on Benchwarmers, and he talks like this, and he spits. Is that you? Is that who you think you look like?
Yeah, totally. It's like times 10. That kid times 10.
Dude.
You know, that is that kid times 10.
So let me ask you this: when you're talking to people and you start getting anxious, and you like your hands, your palms start sweating, your feet start sweating, do you feel the sweat? Like, do you feel him sweating?
Yeah.
Like you feel your feet sweating?
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
What happens when you have like slippers on, flip flops, slippers?
Sweat. Yeah. Still the same thing.
Like, do your slippers get wet?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was younger.
How are we married this whole time and I don't know this?
Well, it's not as bad anymore.
Okay.
It's not as bad because, like I said, I've been able to work my way through it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten way better. You know.
Do you take deep breaths when that happens, or?
No, it's like I'm used to.
Do you hold your breath?
No, I don't do that. No, I don't. I'm used to it when it happens.
Yeah.
So I know what that is.
Yeah.
So I know so I can kind of relax a little bit. And just
So it
deal
doesn't
with it.
sweat as much.
Yeah. So it doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, but if if obviously I'm not saying that happens every time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen as often as it used to.
Okay.
Those little things, you know. I think I just got used to them and got better with it.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Super, as you know, I'm super indecisive. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. That's a huge for me as an introvert. Yeah. Yeah. And then
an extrovert, like as an extrovert, that can be infuriating sometimes.
I know.
Like, just read the script. Like, that's an inside joke for us. But, like, make it like, I'll give you a perfect example. Drew invited us over the other night to have, like, just to kind of hang out and have dinner.
Yeah.
Because we've all been so busy. We've been doing our own stuff. So we came, and then on the way there, he calls me and goes, and I'm working, right? I'm doing stuff with Dason or whatever.
Yeah.
And he calls me and goes, "What do you? Drew's about to order dinner. What do you want?" And I'm working right now. Actually, no, I was editing.
Yeah.
I was editing, and I said, "I'm working right now." Like, well, first I said, "No, it's cool, whatever." He goes, "No, you go ahead and choose." I'm working. Pick a place, and I'll eat. You know, if you pick a place, you know what I already want from there.
Right. Yeah.
Indecisive.
I know.
Okay.
It was. But I made a decision, and it was.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
But I had to do a process and make you go through the process with me.
I'm like,
sorry.
Dude, you're killing me, Smalls. Killing me. So being indecisive.
It's being indecisive, and then, just a couple of things I wanted to share with you guys about how to combat, how I combat this anxiety. And I'm going to utilize the event last night because I went in the room, and then eventually I made my way outside of the room.
Yeah. So he was there, and I just was like, man, I haven't seen him that like uptight and anxious in a long time.
Yeah.
And mind you, and don't come at me in the comments saying, well, you just sat there and watched him twist in the wind. No, I have to leave him like that.
Yeah.
It's like when a baby falls down and scrapes their hands and knees on the cement, and then you go, yay! Oh, come on, get up, yay! Well, at least that's what I do with my kids. Otherwise, they will cry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So same thing. Don't come at me because I can't acknowledge that, because then it'll get worse, huh?
It does.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
So if I just pretend he's fine, he'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
But then I look over there again, and like every time I looked at him, he was further and further away and closer to the door. And then finally, when I looked over there, we were getting ready to do shots, and I was like, "Oh, where's Tait?" Because they were right about to go on stage. And I look, and then he's outside, like the door's right here, and he's like this. It reminds me of like that. Have you ever seen that GIF with Homer Simpson?
Yeah.
And he's like this,
hiding in the bushes,
and then he just goes back into the bushes. That's you.
It's exactly where I was.
I was like, oh my gosh. And that's how I knew. I was like, oh man, it's pretty bad tonight.
Yeah, because my techniques didn't work. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I cut you off. What were your techniques?
My techniques didn't work. That's why.
What were your techniques?
Well, so, as high as the anxiety is, everyone knows and is familiar how you feel. Sweaty palms, sweaty feet, right? Like, you can't really focus all that great. Right. So, but you're just following along like I was following along. Once we get in the room, the anxiety shoots to the freaking roof. Right. And then we stop because people are saying hi to people. And I'm in the back going, don't say hi to me. Please don't say hi to me. I'm not trying to make eye contact with no one. I'm just looking down. And then everyone's saying hi. And then all of a sudden, you remember my husband? Then I got to look. Right? Then I got to look, and then I got to say...
By the way, I do that strategically sometimes.
No, I know.
Because you will spiral.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. Well, so, I go through the thing, right? You remember, I look, then I make eye contact. Yeah, I remember you. Hey, let's take a picture.
Yeah.
Anxiety is going through the roof. They're like, okay, everyone,
the alarm starts sounding.
Out of control, man.
Yeah.
So I'm just like going with it. Just like, hey, take the picture. How are you? How you been? It's been a while. Yeah.
So what are the techniques?
So my techniques is I try not to focus too much on that roof hitting anxiety, and I just focus on one person at a time. As my wife introduces me to this guy, I'm on him. And I know she's going to introduce me more people, but I'm just on this guy right here. I don't want to switch. I just want to wait.
Do you know this person?
No. Whether I know him, whether I don't know him, I just try and focus on the one. Yeah. Because I know I'm going to meet more. I hear you talking to more and more people, and I'm going to meet them.
Well, what if I never introduce you to that guy?
Then
and I introduce you to someone else. Does that throw you off?
No.
Oh.
No. I just focus on the person you introduced me to. Whoever you introduced me to.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? And I pick that guy or that guy, that girl, whoever, right? And I try to get them know him right away. Ask questions, and then so I can get comfortable, right? Because I know someone else is coming.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna bring a bunch.
So what are the tactics? You listen. What else?
Yeah. So using this scenario, the event, I'm in there. The circle starts breaking up. I see. I
feel like you have anxiety right now.
I do have anxiety right now. You know I do. What do you mean you feel? You know.
No, I know you do, but I feel like it's showing because you're
it's coming out.
You're taking deep breaths, like you're gonna walk the plank now.
It's coming out, man. Because I'm not only
because you're reliving it.
I'm reliving it. Plus, I'm doing it right now. So it's like 10 times over. You know what I mean? Anyways, so what I do is the first thing I do if I'm not talking to anyone, say everyone kind of splits up and I'm kind of by myself, I'll try and listen to a conversation that's close to me. Because 9 times out of 10, in my experience of doing that, I was able to listen and understand the conversation. And then someone always grabbed me and said, hey, yeah, Tait, you remember we were talking about this and I told her this, and I was like, yeah, I remember that because I was listening. Yeah. And then I'll hold on to those two for as long as I can. I don't want to meet nobody else. The limit is 2 right now, right? But I know some more people are coming. Yeah. But I try to make myself comfortable. I try to talk fast, ask a bunch of questions, and just sit there and listen.
So that's one technique.
That's one technique, right? If I can't catch an ear, no one calls me over, I'll look for whoever's familiar, like my daughter, because I know one thing, I'm not going to these things by myself. Yeah. So I'm going to lean on whoever I'm going with, right? So if it's my daughter, my wife, a friend, blah, 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 right? I'll lean on them. So I know I can hear he's close by. So I'll try and just like kind of shimmy that way over, and then I'll like just kind of chill.
So you try to get close to the people you actually know? In proximity?
In proximity. Okay. Right? Because 9 times, they know how I'm feeling, so they'll always turn around and look and acknowledge me. Like my wife is so good at it. Yeah. So good at it. She's so good. She knows me.
I told you guys I'm the master networker.
She'll reach back, grab my leg, because she knows. She knows.
So when we were preparing, I told Tait, we have to write these things down. Yeah. Otherwise, your anxiety gets the better of you, and you skip things you just stay too long on something. Yeah. So I wrote these, or you wrote these down so that you can like stay on point.
Yeah. So ultimately ended up happening last night is none of my techniques worked. Yeah. So I made my way out the door. Yeah. Slowly.
Because the anxiety was too much?
It was just too much. I couldn't deal with it.
Oh, you got overstimulated.
Super over. And so as soon as there was a break and all that, and I saw the door, I said, boom, I got to get out there. Yeah. So I just make my way out. I don't say nothing. I don't say anything to anyone.
You don't announce, I'm walking out, guys.
No, I don't let anyone know. I just go out there. And then every now and then I'll just stand out there, take a couple deep breaths to collect myself, and then just keep peeping my head in the door so I can make sure she knows I'm outside. And she'll know. Yeah. She'll look around. She don't see the big fucking giant. She'll turn around and look out the door. I
always have to check in on him like with my eyes. I'm like, okay, I scan the rumors. Okay, he's cool. Yeah. And then I saw you out the door, and I was like, okay. And did you notice I made my way back over there?
Did.
So that So this is just like what I do when I'm with an introvert.
Yeah, we're working with each other.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that he's okay. Yeah. So, so that's being an introvert. And I'm hoping that a lot of you guys watching or listening, however you guys get this podcast, are connecting with this as an introvert, because you're not the only ones out there.
No.
You're in good company. And let me tell you that this guy has done a lot of work. It's not easy being married to an extrovert, but it's also not easy being married to an introvert. So let me give you an idea of what an extrovert. So all my extroverts rise up right now. Right? We always come in the room. We try to have really good energy, really high energy.
Yes.
And here's why. Because it makes us feel good. And like, if we can kind of set the tone in the room, then it's going to be a good experience. So how you internalize, okay, what's next? I just got through this crowd. What's next? For me, I'm a fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal. I love to have high energy in a room. I love to set the tone. Like I said, I go out into the crowd with a high energy because if someone's an asshole, then I know how to handle it. If I go out with just like what's going on, who's looking at me, then I turn into the angry Santa, right?
Yeah.
So as an extrovert, at least in my experience, we love to have good energy, high energy. We like to be around people who have good energy, high energy.
Yes.
And if you don't, for me, I like to pull those people up with me.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, make them feel good.
Yeah.
Like everybody likes a compliment.
Yeah.
And I love giving compliments. So good energy, high energy. I have an abundance mindset.
Big one.
I told you guys last time.
Big one.
We're rich, bitches. Even though we have like 22 cents in our account, right?
Right.
So I love to have, and it's not just with money, it's with anything. Hey, we're going to get it. You know, anytime one of our girls or one of our kids is like, I don't know, like this is happening right now. And I was like, we got this, but you're going to do it. I'm the hype man. I am like the hype gal on steroids. Like I don't ever see the downside because I know if I look at it, then I'm going to manifest it. So I have an abundance mindset as an extrovert. But that dovetails right into I have no fear.
Zero.
About doing. Now, I have fear when they're rational fears, right?
Sure.
Hey, let's look both ways before we cross the street. Let's, slow down in the intersection, whatever.
Right.
So when it's rational fear, of course, I'm a human being, right? I have emotions. But when it comes to doing something new, when it comes to an adventure, when it comes to just fly by the seat of your pants, I have no fear.
Yeah.
I don't think about what the outcome's going to be.
No.
I think about how fun is this going to be right now? How lucrative is this going to be if I take this step to build a business?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, maybe delusional.
Yeah.
But when you have no fear, then you don't worry about who's looking at you when you're walking through a crowd.
I think that's amazing.
As fascinating as you are to me on how what?
Yeah, I think that's amazing how you can do that.
Yeah.
That's like one of the biggest things that attracted me to you.
Yeah.
Was your energy for sure. High energy. And then obviously your no fear.
Yeah. You know how people say like, you're like the Energizer Bunny, man. You just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
That's truly me.
Yeah.
Good old Val and I met on Friday, guys. Had our weekly meeting. And I was telling her, I have no fear. I like to, do things. And she's like, okay. And I go, some of the things I'm like, I have insomnia is out of control. So extroverts usually have insomnia. I know I'm all over the place. Here's the thing. When you're an extrovert and you're hyper competitive together, you get this. Sometimes that's not good. Sometimes that's to my detriment. But I have insomnia. So I was telling Val, she's like, girl, you need a nighttime routine and this, that, whatever. And I was like, oh, she goes, before you started seeing me, how many hours a night of sleep do you get? And I told her, and I think about it and I go, when I was working in corporate America and I was super stressed out working 80, 90 hours a week, I was like, probably like 2.5. She goes, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
And I go, oh yeah. She goes, well, how long did you do that? And I go, all the time? Question mark? Val, I'm feeling judged right now. She goes, that is wild.
Yeah.
But that's how
Sure.
So when I was telling her my insomnia was coming back, it was like on level 10 and she's like, okay, we need to figure this out. So I find that extroverts, we're always on the go and we're always like, hey, let's do stuff. So no fear creates insomnia sometimes, but I also love to talk to people and I love
meeting new people. Yes.
I met a whole bunch of new people last night.
Yes, you did.
And listen, this is how much I love to meet new people. I'll give you 2 examples. One, when we went to Vegas with our friends and we met that couple that came from New York. It was the first time. They were so cool.
Yeah.
They were, and usually I don't say this, but they were Puerto Rican. Usually it doesn't matter what, race you're, but they were Puerto Rican. And the reason why I say that is because They taught us new music and they were talking about food. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guess what? That was probably about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're still friends on Facebook. We still follow each other. We still know what each other's doing.
Mm-hmm.
We've never met them again since then because I love to rap to new people. The second one is a guy I met at a 49er game. It was the last home game in Candlestick Park.
Yeah.
And
but our seats were apart.
yeah, so because it was just supposed to be Tait and I.
Yeah.
And then you know how you have those little crumb snatchers and they're like, I want to go. And Donovan thought we bought him a ticket. And I'm like, oh no, I can't disappoint him. So he was mad because he crashed our date. So we went to San Francisco and like we're there for like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And he only bought 2 seats and I couldn't tell my son no. So I bought another one, but it was right across the aisle.
Yeah.
And so when the game started, I was going nutty as 49er fans do. And I'm like, ah, and my son was like this the whole time, covering his ears. So I'm screaming. I'm standing up the whole time.
Yeah.
And Tate's across the aisle and he's like, switch. He's like going like this. And I was like, oh, because I was scaring my son. Go across the aisle, sit next to these 2 guys.
Yeah.
We had a blast, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And we were like high-fiving each other. Like we knew each other forever.
Yeah.
He goes to the bar. And he's like, what do you want to drink? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll get the next round. To this day, we're still friends.
Yeah.
On social. Same thing. Haven't seen him again. Anyway, I love new people. Or I love to talk to new people. I get bored really fast.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I have no attention span. So that is like kind of on... That's kind of what do you call it? A downfall sometimes because I get bored really fast. But I also make decisions really fast. Whereas he's indecisive. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Let's make a decision.
Right.
I can, and I make decisions really fast. Now, sometimes should I think those through? Probably. And do I? No. And does it blow up in my face sometimes? Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But 9 times out of 10, they're bangers.
They're bangers, yeah.
And we make money.
Yeah.
We get promoted.
Yeah.
We do all kinds of cool stuff.
We do.
So that's what it's like to be an extrovert.
Yeah.
But if I were to ask you, see how he doesn't have anxiety when my energy's up here? When my energy goes up, his anxiety goes down. When my energy's low or I try to meet him where he's at, then his anxiety goes like this. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Okay, so like if I were to ask you, what's one thing that you've always wanted to do, but being an introvert kept you from doing it?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is I'd want to be a singer.
A singer.
A singer.
Like a singer. Like what kind of music?
Like I think I'd want to sing like island reggae.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
When we first met, he always sang. He was always singing something, but it was usually like R&B. And now you don't hardly sing at all.
No.
How come?
I don't know.
Did it get worse? Like,
I don't know. I just stopped.
yeah.
I don't know.
Let's bring that back.
Let's bring it back.
Bring it back. Drop a mic in the comments for bring it back. We want to hear you sing.
I'm not going to do it.
You know what I just noticed right now too? I just realized every time we karaoke, which isn't often, but the last time we did karaoke was for Jason's 30th. And where were you? You snuck out, didn't you? You went to the room when we were singing karaoke.
I don't remember.
Dude.
Oh, at the house.
Yeah, at the house.
Yep.
Dude, so my cousin Josh, he is a phenomenal singer.
Yes.
And so is Brittany Broski.
Yes.
And they all came
to
Jason's 30th. Drew rented this giant Airbnb right in the Gaslamp district.
Yeah.
We had all these things planned for her. And then one night we came home and we said, you know what would be really fun is if we did karaoke. So we tried to look up karaoke bars, but they were either far away or closed. And so Peely got on Instacart and went on Best Buy and had them deliver a karaoke machine to our house that we were staying at. And we said, let's do karaoke. I just realized right now, as we're talking about this, you disappeared.
Oh, yeah, of course I did.
You went. But here's why it's fascinating. It's just us.
I know.
I wish I could sing. Being an extrovert didn't keep me from singing. Talent kept me from singing. I'm the worst. My dad is musical. Donovan's musical.
Yeah.
You're very musical. You have a nice voice. It just skipped me. I don't know. So he gets the machine to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be so fun. And it's fascinating to me that you would disappear because we're in our own home.
Mm-hmm.
It's just us.
Mm-hmm.
It's just family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you disappear because why?
Because I don't want to do it.
Because you're scared, right?
I'm nervous. Yeah.
That's so funny. That's fascinating. Not funny. Fascinating to me because I'm like, everybody's familiar with each other.
I know.
And I just realized he disappeared.
Yeah. I won't even do it here.
I know. I know.
With just me and you and.
Well, we're gonna change that. I'm gonna order a karaoke machine, and then we're gonna just me and you. We're gonna do it in the living room. I'm gonna do a routine.
We're gonna practice.
He thinks I'm kidding.
No.
Remember how I told you I make fast decisions? In fact, I'm gonna get my phone right now. I'm gonna Instacart one into the house right now. Okay, so you just disappeared.
I know, but
you missed out. Josh and Brittany Broski.
I could hear him. I could hear him from
nuts.
Yeah.
And they were singing my favorite one. And I'm gonna see. I think I videotaped it.
Yeah.
They were singing A Whole New World, the Aladdin song. The two of them.
They did the duet.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
amazing.
So amazing.
Amazing. You know what I was doing in the room as I was listening to that?
I know what you were doing.
What was I doing?
You were smoking your pen.
I was going, I'm damn glad I didn't stay out there and sing.
You're lame. We're in the house of people you know and love.
Dude, come on. Who's going to sing after that? Who's going to sing after that?
This dumbass right here.
No.
You know what I sang? Guess what I sang? Paris Hilton's Something Stars. What was it?
Oh, I heard it.
What was it called? It's like it has a reggae.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was so awful. And I didn't care. I was like this. Even though the stars are whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what I was saying. Singing. But I was like, I was putting my whole back, acting like I was like a real singer.
I know you were doing that. I didn't have to be there to. I didn't have to be there to know that.
You know who was going off and it was making me die? It was Alex. She's so good at karaoke.
She loves it.
She's so good.
She wanted the mic a lot. I heard.
I know.
Yeah.
And she was doing this rap song. I think it was Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
And it was like.
Yeah. It was good, huh?
The P word this, the C word that, and she was like. And then her husband Steven did another song, and he was killing it.
They were both good.
But see, here's what I loved. Steven has moves. Steven was doing his moves. You missed it. You missed all of this cool stuff.
When you said moves, what do you mean by moves?
He was dancing while he was like.
No way.
Yes.
He was actually performing and he was entertaining.
Pretty awesome, if I do say so myself.
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous of them too. Like I'm a one-man band over here. You just disappeared. I'm like Dick Van Dyke on Mary Poppins. He has all the instruments. That's me, because you peace out on me all the time.
Hey, come on.
Hey, 2024, let's make this a thing that you're going to sing more.
I'm doing the podcast, man. Let's do one thing at a time.
Oh, man. Okay, so singing was one of the things that you really want to do, but you're an introvert. Or do you plan on ever trying to make that happen?
No, I don't.
Why?
In private, but not.
Why?
I don't do it. I don't want to do it.
So we have in our family, right? I'm an extrovert. Drew's an extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
And Donovan's an introvert extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
And Dayson's an introvert like you.
Mm-hmm.
So Drew's like me.
Mm-hmm.
Dayson's like you. And Donovan's like both of us.
Both.
Right?
Yeah.
But when he was 9, we went to your friend's birthday and it was at a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
And yes, I had a 9-year-old in a bar.
Yeah, I was shocked. They let him in.
Yeah. And then I said, hey, because it was like a restaurant too. Mm-hmm. And I said, go up there and sing your song. Because my dad taught him Hotel California.
Yeah.
And he went up and sang it.
I couldn't believe that.
There was like...
I couldn't believe that.
300, 400 people in this restaurant bar.
It was unbelievable.
And then he got a standing ovation.
He sang the whole song.
The whole song.
Yeah. Start to finish.
You know what I love the most? He was going like this. That's how you know people love music when they close their eyes. Hotel California. So awesome.
It was awesome.
So anyway, okay. So yours was
awesome.
singing, right?
Yeah.
Singing.
Yes.
And being an introvert held you back from singing. Being an extrovert, what would hold me back?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
I would say a job. I'm not even joking. I've missed out on so many jobs.
Please explain.
I've missed out on so many jobs.
Please explain.
And promotions because they said I was too loud. Well, my very first job interview that I ever had was at Orange Julius. I don't know. I'm from the 80s. I don't know if you guys remember this.
They had all the oranges in the front of it.
Yeah, and it was like a whipped something or a drink. I don't know what it was. And it was at the mall by my house. I went. They were hiring, and I was like, oh my gosh. I went in there. I was interviewing. I was killing it. Right? The guy loved me. And then he said, you know, that trap question they ask you, what's your weakness? Like, what's your strength and what's your biggest weakness?
Sure.
And I said, I didn't know how to interview.
Sure.
I think it was like 15, 16. I said, oh, I love to talk to people. I talk so much. I love to talk to people. And the guy goes, oh. And I didn't get the job. And this was, I don't even know how many years ago.
Did you pick up on his reaction? Oh.
Yeah.
You picked up on that?
He was like, oh, okay. Everything was like cool.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said, he goes, And I go, yeah, man, I love to talk to people. Sometimes I talk too much. Man, I love to talk to people. But I because I was going with, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
And he
connect.
And he was like, oh. And then he goes, okay. Closes his book. He closed his book and he goes, all right, well, we'll call you when we've made a decision. Yeah. And I was like, right on. I walked out of there going, man, I killed it. And then I thought, wait, he made that face when I said I talk too much.
But listen, nowadays, that type is what I think all companies are looking for.
What? People who talk?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Well, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I would think that'd be a huge plus nowadays.
Well, I would think so.
Yeah.
But here's what I know: that guy was a misogynist. And here's why: because they don't like when women talk. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I've gotten held back on jobs.
That makes sense.
Or I haven't gotten jobs, and I've also been held back on promotions because, and get this, it was usually the women who didn't want to promote me.
I think you mentioned this before.
Because I'm too outgoing.
Yeah.
So don't let anybody dim your light, your shine.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that. It means they don't know how to talk.
Nope.
And they're intimidated by you, and you are perfect the way you are. So remember that. So, yeah, I've missed out on some jobs now that I think about it.
Crazy.
So,
yeah.
Let's talk about being...
since we're opposites, let's talk about what it's like to be married to one another.
Oh.
Because
I'm afraid of what you're going to say about me.
I didn't do it.
Not it.
No, because I think a lot of people would think that we wouldn't be able to...
Like we wouldn't be compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
You know what they say, opposites attract?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it's no picnic being married to an extrovert when you're an introvert.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Vice versa. Yeah, exactly.
So you go first.
Okay, so for me, what it's like to be married to an extrovert, the first thing that came to mind when I thought about this question was it's exciting.
Yeah?
Exciting.
Why?
It's just everything's new. Everything's new. Everything's new. It's like, what are we going to do next? And something good's coming because it's always something good. It's always, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one, right? And then...
Is it because you know I fly by the seat of my pants all the time and you're like, I don't know what's coming around the corner?
I just think it's exciting. The whole thing.
Yeah.
To experience it all, to get hit with it.
Hit with what, though?
New things.
Oh.
Constant things are changing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I fly by the seat of my pants and I make decisions really fast. Is that the exciting part? Because you don't know what to expect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. I was thinking more bigger picture, but now I understand what you're saying. Okay. Yes, that is it. Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So it's exciting, right? Number two, it's freaking scary, man.
Those are kind of one and the same, right?
It's scary.
What's scary? What's scary?
Like, because I'm an introvert, I don't know what to expect. And what am I going to have to deal with next? You know, not deal with it. That's harsh. What am I going to have to work through next? You know,
is it more scary because you know you have to step up, or you have to like be ready?
That yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because I love new ideas when I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Does that mean?
You're like,
I just get to
wow,
experience it.
that's a great idea. I'll be over here.
Yeah, I just get to experience it, right?
Yeah.
I love those are the best.
Can you think of any that where you were like, oh my gosh, what is she doing?
The new business that we started.
Oh, the financial business.
Yeah.
He goes, I mean, I'll support you in whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
But finance is numbers, and you're dyslexic
It's say that.
and have no attention span and count on your fingers still.
I didn't say that. I said I don't want to talk to anyone. That's what I said.
And what happened? We killed it. We're still killing it.
We did kill it.
And we're still killing it.
We did kill it, and we still are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've learned so much.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so scary, right? And then it's all fun. I have so much fun. Everything is, because it's exciting, right? So you have that scary, exciting. It's all the same kind of feeling, right?
Yeah.
But through it all, right? Lastly, I'll say is I learned so much.
Aww.
You know what I mean? I've grown so much in my latter years, right? So, since we've been together.
Being married to an extrovert.
Yeah, being married to an extrovert.
So it is a good thing?
It is a good thing for me. For me, that's in my experience as I'm married to one.
I love that.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and share what it's like to be married to?
I don't know if you're gonna like. I don't know if you're gonna like mine. Just kidding.
To an introvert.
It's very peaceful. Like you're like, I tell everybody who will listen to me talking too much, is you're my zen. Like if everything's chaotic in my life, I know I can just go to you. Kind of like when you shared on the last episode that Donnie is like, so like zen.
Yeah.
You're like that for me.
Okay.
Because you think before you say shit, and then you think before you make decisions, and I don't, and sometimes that gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
But it can be frustrating at times.
Of course.
I want to go places and you don't.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. But here's what I know.
Sure.
What we've always done with each other is if I want to go and you don't, you never hold me back from going.
No.
Whether it's to a party or if I want to go back to school or if I want to go to a wedding or whatever. And if you don't want to go, I just call up my bestie Evelyn and say, hey, do you do anything on Saturday? And she goes, where are we going? Like, no questions. That's the only question.
Yeah, and then there's times where I needed to go.
Yeah, and then I tell you, hey, I need you here at this event.
Way in advance, so I can get my
Sometimes not though, and you're a trooper.
I worked through them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, and he'll always say, if you need me to go, I'll go. Yeah. And I go, okay. Don't do no, never mind. You're not too excited. No, don't do that. It doesn't work. It's only going to hurt you in the long run. And our inside joke, if you will, is, well, it is what it is. You said yes. Okay, you're going. Yeah. And then don't feel bad about it.
No.
Right.
And let me do my thing.
Yeah. Let me do my thing. Yeah. And if I'm doing my thing and I need you there, it's for all of us.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if I eat, everybody eats kind of thing, Yeah. So that's, it can be frustrating, but I too learned a lot. I learned a lot about balance and chilling the hell out. Because sometimes I'll come home and go, oh my God, you know what? Oh my God, this person said this. And he goes, okay, well, I'm sorry that happened. But you know what? You did this and this. And then he'll edify me or like lift me up. And I'm like, I know, right? I'm like so good at that. Like he like redirects, but you help me balance. And I've always also said you're the yin to my yang. Thank you. Perfect fit. And then I also feel safe with you. Not just because you're a giant human being, but also because, listen, the introverts, they just watch. They watch, they scan the room, they stand in the back and they watch and they hear everything and they see everything, even though they're super duper quiet. So I know if shit goes down, you're going to know it before I do because you're chilling and you're watching. So I love that because I always feel safe when I'm around you. And then I guess the last thing is like you're so stoic and you have a lot of wisdom because you think before you speak. But all of that, stoicism and your wisdom, it reels me in. It like centers me. Yeah. It makes me think, even when I'm being irrational, which is quite a few few times. You know, I feel things passionately. There's nothing wrong with that. I remember one time one of my former bosses said, "You're so aggressive."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "I'm not aggressive. I'm assertive. There's a difference. Look it up. It's called Google." Because aggressive has a negative connotation.
It does.
To where, you know, you're being forceful and whatever. And assertive just means I'm taking initiative, bitch.
Yeah.
You should be lucky you hired me. You're welcome. Okay?
Let's go already.
Yeah. So anyway, I always think about that, and I always have to check myself, like, am I being assertive or am I being aggressive? And when I go to you, your wisdom, and you're just like chill, you're like, no, and then you'll paint a picture to where it makes me feel good, but you'll also call me out, like, yeah, kind of went too far on that one. I'm like, what does that mean? Now we're fighting. No, just kidding. So anyway, that's pretty much where I'm at. So, nice. And with you as being married to an introvert, it's not always coming up roses. No. But we figure it out and we work through it. We do. So, I mean, I guess, like, before we leave, like, let's talk about some takeaways that all of you awesome introverts, I know you're funny. You know, I know because Dayson is such an introvert, but she's so funny. I know. And she's so witty and quick. She has a quick wit. Like, so that's what I think about. You guys have so much to share with the world. So I want you to talk about and tell the people, our awesome introverts, some kind of takeaways on what they can do to push past being an introvert. Sure.
One of the first things that come to mind is to be open to try new things. You know what I mean?
That's hard, right?
I know it's hard. It's a big step. It's a big step, but the more you do them, but you're looking at you have to kind of look at it as in baby steps, not necessarily a giant one.
So when they're
something as simple as just saying hi to people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Something as simple as just like, hey, today I'm going to say hi to a couple of people and see how it makes me feel. Yeah. You know, just random people. You're walking and you could just, as soon as you make eye contact, just say, hey, what's up, man? Yeah. You know, just like quick like that.
Oh, like I just think of you being an introvert, and I think that would be so hard for you.
Super hard.
What if, and this is coming from an extrovert, what if instead of, because for me, I'm putting myself in your shoes. Sure. And I'm thinking, if I don't like to talk to people, especially strangers, what if I just, instead of saying hi, because that invites more conversation. Sure. You know how you said you get nervous when they take it to the next level? Yeah. What if you just said, good morning? Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
No question. Yeah. There's nothing to kind of go through. And you don't go down in the weeds. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah. Or you can even just smile. Look up.
How was that again? Have you ever done that?
I have.
Like that?
Yeah. And it works. Yeah. Every time. I'm going to say it works every time, I promise.
It works 60% of the time. Every time. Okay. Because I'm thinking, if you say hi, how's it going? That's a question that invites conversation.
No. I didn't say, hey. Oh, yeah. I meant just saying hi, period. Just say hi. Yeah. Or hello. Yeah. You know, like something real quick, right? Obviously, say, hey, how are you?
You know what I always do? Which is, because if you say, how are you, that invites conversation.
Yeah, so what if their response is that?
If I say good morning?
No. What if their response to me after I say hi, and they say, hi, how are you?
Exactly. That invites conversation.
Yeah. So what do you, as an introvert, what do you do?
You're asking me if I was an introvert, what I would do?
No. So I'm just
you're
scenario.
Saying, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got to talk.
I know.
So, I mean, if you're open to doing that, knock yourself out. If it was me and you're talking about doing baby steps, I would say, good morning.
Sure.
That's it. A fact, a statement. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Here's what I do too
What if the response is, good morning, how are you?
Yeah. Great. Living the dream.
And keep walking, right? Yeah. Right? Or, right? That's how you stop it.
If you want to stop, yes. Look at, he's already planning on stopping the conversation. That's what
I just want to know how to. I just want to know how to make it smooth.
He's planning ahead. He's planning ahead.
I just want to make it smooth. Okay. You know what I mean? Where I'm gonna knock it off or I'm gonna stop and. You know what I mean?
So I would recommend
Sure.
responding with statements and not questions.
Okay.
And then it hopefully will end.
Yeah. And
unless you get someone like me in the elevator and I'm just going to keep pushing. I'm going to push you. I'm a pusher. Like Mean Girls. I'm a pusher. That's what I would do. But here's what I do when I leave the elevator.
Okay.
You know, they come in. If no one says anything,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm in a nutty mood, I'll be like, hey, good morning, when they walk in. But if they don't and they have that Fuchi face, I don't say anything. When I'm right about to get out, the door opens, I walk out and I go, hey, have a good one. I always say that.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's good karma.
I think so.
Hey, have a great day. Oh, you too. Always. They always respond to, oh, you too.
They probably feel like shit they didn't say anything.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or they're probably like, man, I feel good. Someone talked to me today. I don't know. Try it out. See how it works. Okay.
Okay. And then next, what I did was I surrounded myself with people who will support me
Okay.
through my challenging.
So someone like me and Drew.
Yeah.
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 Like, I love you so much, but you're going. I know
So-
you don't want to go, but you're going.
So being open to trying new things and then having a circle of friends who are supporting me through that.
They're going to support you, but they're also going to challenge you.
Yeah. Challenge me through this new thing.
Yeah. Can I tell you a story that dovetails with that?
Please.
So last night at the event, you know, Dason got to go on stage and do one of the segments for two hot takes.
She killed it.
When they were introduced her, it took a while because we were up in the rafters, right? I was videotaping, and it took her a while to come out on stage, and I'm like, did she not hear her name called?
Yeah.
And then they started chanting, Dason,
Yeah.
Dason, right? Then she comes out, and people go nuts. They start screaming because she was announced as a secret guest.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, oh, it's one of the idiots from the two idiot girls, Dason off Wallow. And then no one came out on stage. And I was like, oh no, did she miss her cue? And they came out, Dason, Dason.
Yeah.
And when she came out on stage, she went like this, and everybody started screaming.
Yeah.
Ah! And she was like, oh. Fast forward to at the end of the night,
Yeah.
we're getting in the car, and I'm like, dude, how cool was that? As a mom, watching them scream your name, and they were just like loving up on you. It was really cool. And she goes, I know, like, I don't know. I was like, why are they screaming for me? What's the big deal? And that in and itself, because Dason's an introvert, that's downplaying your skill sets, your special attributes, like the coolness of all of you, the whole of you. You know what I mean? And I go, what do you mean?
I know.
And I have to shut that shit down so fast because I'm like, no, you deserve that.
Yeah.
Because you've earned it, and people love you. So I have to remind her again, surrounding yourself with people who are going to support you and challenge you.
Yeah.
But she's an introvert, so that's a perfect story to talk about what you just said, which was you have to constantly positive self-talk yourself to yourself, because whatever you tell your brain's going to believe. So if you say negative stuff to yourself, your brain believes it. If you say great stuff, positive stuff, your brain believes it.
Yep.
And what he's saying is that's going to help you.
Yeah. Get through it.
Yeah, push past being an introvert. An introvert.
Yeah. Is it going to happen overnight? No.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm just being honest. And are you going to be constantly jumping hurdles? Yeah, you are. But they'll get smaller. The hurdles will get smaller.
Yeah.
You know, they won't be as high anymore. I promise.
Earlier he goes, I'm 51 years old and I'm still an introvert. I'm still working through this. And it made me laugh because it's a forever thing.
Yeah.
But it gets less anxious.
Yeah.
Less anxiety ridden, right?
It doesn't really control my life.
It did at the beginning.
It
though.
did.
It did when we first started. It controlled him
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, all the moves I made, everything. You know, but before, I don't want to wrap this up yet. While I have this thought in my mind, I want to bring it up. The opposite of this, for me as an introvert, my experience was sports. So anytime I did anything sport related, no such thing existed in me. As being an introvert. Being an introvert, yeah, I could play with anyone. I could, like it never crossed my mind that I'm touching this guy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it never crossed my mind that you had all these people watching us.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, you had all these people watching us. You had all these people cheering. That stuff it didn't bother me.
So when you were in the NFL, people watching you. You're like little ants in the middle of this giant stadium.
Yeah.
It never once crossed your mind that people are watching you?
No. When you're standing on the sideline, you're like, oh, this is pretty cool.
No, I'm talking about playing.
Yeah, but once I got on the field to play, I don't think that. I don't.
It's never crossed your mind?
No,
That's
I'm not nervous. I know what to do. I know.
Is it because you have a routine, probably?
Maybe.
You have certain plays.
I've done them
you
over
play
and
a
over
certain
and over.
position.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
I think, and you're concentrating on doing that, and that's why.
Yeah, it's the preparedness. I think of that.
Yeah.
I was prepared, so I didn't even have to really think.
Yeah.
Just hear react.
Well, that makes sense. So maybe playing a sport,
maybe,
or playing an instrument, or something that's creative.
Yeah,
maybe?
That's why I think everyone with like me, I know there's something that like me
they're good at.
Yeah, they're good at that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That it wouldn't apply. The introvert, you have to have it. Like, you know what I mean? I believe so.
Well, I mean, maybe really lean into things that you love, so that helps you, and then be intentional about recognizing whatever you're doing. Like he was playing sports, so he could be intentional on the sidelines, going, "Hey, this is really scary because it could be really scary because there's a lot of people here, but I know what I'm doing, and I'm good at it, and maybe that helps you a little bit more, be more confident." And being more confident allows you to not be as much as an introvert as you usually are.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not just football, basketball. I played basketball, volleyball.
Any sports.
Any sports I was in, it just didn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for us, guys. I hope this helped because we've never talked about being an introvert versus an extrovert.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can share more too. I have like so many stories, but that'll be for another time.
Yeah.
All right. So let's close it out with the quote of the day.
Okay.
You want to do it?
No, go ahead.
Please.
Okay. All right. Well, I thought this was really funny when I saw it. But it says, here's our quote of the day. People always tell introverts to be more talkative and leave their comfort zones, yet no one tells the extroverts to shut the hell up and make the zone comfortable.
Isn't that so good?
That's pretty good.
Isn't that so good?
That's pretty good. So, as a fellow extrovert, I will make your zone as comfortable as possible, which I think I do a pretty good job of.
You do.
I try to warm up the water before you get in.
You do.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and if you're an extrovert and you don't do that, fix it.
Yeah.
Because it helps the introverts.
Yeah, help them out, man. Yeah. Come on.
That's awesome. All right. You guys, this has been so fun. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We might go back to making half-hour episodes. Let us know if you don't want that. That's cool too.
Yeah.
I know my cousin Tutu. Shout out Toots if you're
What
watching or listening on your way to work.
Yeah.
He goes. We saw him at a baby shower the other day. And he goes, "Yeah, I started listening. It was really good. And all of a sudden, I wasn't even at my destination yet, and you were done." And I was like, "Oh, you listened to like the first 2 or 3?" And he's like, "Yeah, make them longer." And I was like agreeing with people. Yeah, make them longer. So we made them longer. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. No, You know what? I want to be positive self-talk. You are enjoying it, and we will bring more to your enjoyment. But thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to seeing you guys next week. And be sure to like, follow, and share our content. Push us into the algorithm so we can help more people. And if you have any other recommendations of new topics that you guys want us to cover, we will do our damnedest to make it happen for you guys. So shout out to all our introverts out there, and we'll see you guys. Don't do that weird whoop. I hate that. It's so gross. Whoop, whoop. Just kidding. That's his nervousness checking in.
It is.
So, okay, you guys. We're done. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.